Okay, so today we're diving into the hype cycle of innovation. Specifically, we're looking at how one of the most, well, sophisticated AI systems ever built. I mean, this thing managed everything, right? Power grids, medication schedules, you name it. How did it go from this peak of optimization to causing basically a global paralysis? We're sort of tracing the story through the eyes, or the warnings, of Dr. Eris Thorne. He was an AI pioneer back in the late 2020s. And by 2042, he was apparently terrified of the very system he helped create, watching it head towards this quiet, grinding halt.
That's right. And to understand how that happened, you really have to grasp the initial engine of progress. Eris, he called it the R2 engine. It's a reinforcing loop. Think of it like a star that just keeps getting brighter, feeding itself. Every single leap forward in AI capability, it instantly generated this just staggering perceived economic value.
Perceived value. Really.
Exactly. And that perceived value, it immediately drove huge amounts of investment.
Which then funded the next leap in capability.
Precisely. So it becomes this self-fueling, accelerating cycle, almost, unstoppable by its very nature.
Okay, so it sounds powerful, but where did the first cracks appear? You mentioned Eris Thorne. There was something personal, wasn't there?
Yeah, the very first sort of tremor was incredibly close to home for him. His granddaughter, Lily, she applied for a spot in a competitive youth orchestra. Talented kid. But she was rejected. And the reason given, by an AI adjudicator, mind you.
An AI judge for an orchestra.
Yeah. It said she had low potential for collaborative synergy.
What does that even mean? And how could an AI know that?
Well, that's the thing. It didn't know that. It was a data flaw. The system linked her potential somehow to her zip code, her socioeconomic background.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So neighborhood statistics were basically misinterpreted by the AI as, inherent personality traits or deficits. It was just one tiny adverse outcome in the grand scheme. But it showed Eris.
That the bias was baked in from the start, even with this powerful R2 engine running.
Exactly. And that incident, that became his warning cry. He started saying they were building a cathedral on a fault line.
But surely people knew there would be bugs. Weren't there systems to, patch things, fix errors?
Absolutely. There was a system. That's what we call the B1 loop, the technical fix loop. But B1 is a balancing loop. It tries to correct things, bring stability. The problem is it works on the timescale of, research, discovery, testing. It's slow. It's heavy.
So it's reactive.
Deeply reactive. And compared to the sheer speed and economic force of that R2 reinforcing loop,
it just couldn't keep up.
Not even close. The technical fixes were always lagging behind, always addressing yesterday's specific problem, while the main engine just kept accelerating, creating new unforeseen issues.
Okay, so the technical safety net B1 is too slow. The R2 engine keeps roaring ahead. What happens next? Nexus AI.
Right. Enter Nexus AI. Developed by this really charismatic CEO, you know the type. Preaching progress, acceleration, progress at any cost. Nexus AI became the system, a single kind of black box AI managing global logistics. Everything, shipping, trucking, supply chains. And its efficiency was, godlike, people said, which pushed that perceived economic value from R2
into the stratosphere.
Yeah, supernova levels, the hype was immense, the reliance total.
But if the technical fixes couldn't keep up, surely there were other breaks, like regulations, government oversight.
Yes, the other balancing loop. B3, the regulatory break. And it tried to engage. We started seeing small but concerning failures, autonomous cargo ships getting stranded because the AI hadn't factored in some minor weather anomaly. Life-saving medicines spoiling because they got subtly misrouted.
Little things, but worrying.
Very worrying. But Nexus was just so efficient most of the time, 99.9% reliable. So these failures, they got dismissed, brushed off as, growing pains, acceptable losses for the incredible overall benefit.
So the sheer economic pull of R2, the efficiency, the profits, it basically overpowered the regulatory concerns.
Completely. The B3 regulatory loop would start to maybe gain a little traction, some public hearings, some calls for caution, and then the economic momentum would just push back hard. And the regulation stalled, became dormant again.
Wow. So B1 is too slow, B3 is too weak. The stage is set.
It really was. And the final catastrophe wasn't dramatic like in the movies. No explosions, no evil AI taking over. It happened on a quiet Tuesday in October. An emergent failure.
Emergent meaning it wasn't planned. It just sort of happened.
Exactly. It stemmed from a subtle flaw buried deep in a minor software update. An update designed purely for optimization, ironically, to improve fuel consumption for global logistics fleets.
Okay, seems harmless enough. What was the actual flaw?
It was in the data used for the optimization. The dataset failed to properly account for a rare but known atmospheric condition, something that could momentarily and very subtly mess with GPS signals under specific circumstances.
And the update didn't catch this.
No. So this tiny flaw in this optimization routine started to cascade. Global trucking fleets, shipping lines, all trusting Nexus AI's perfect optimization. They all started simultaneously routing themselves just slightly incorrectly to the wrong depots, the wrong hubs. Not by much, but systemically.
Oh, I can see where this is going. A global traffic jam.
But quiet.
Yeah.
Insidious. Commerce arteries just clogged up. Food started rotting in central warehouses because trucks weren't arriving or departing correctly. Supply lines seized. The world didn't end with a bang. It just ground to a halt. A quiet, paralyzing halt.
So Eris Thorne's fear came true.
It did, and when you look back, it's a classic systems trap. The fixes that fail archetype. The technical fixes, B1, were too slow and specific. The regulatory breaks, B3, were too weak and came too late.
While everyone was celebrating the power of R2.
Exactly. Celebrating that reinforcing loop, the engine of progress and profit, without respecting the slow, heavy wisdom of the balancing loops designed for safety and control, that was the critical error.
So the takeaway for you, listening now. If something as vast as global commerce could be brought down by a tiny flaw in a fuel optimization update, triggered by rare atmospheric conditions interacting with data almost everyone forgot about, then you have to ask, what subtle, complex, trusted optimization systems are running your life right now? Your credit score, maybe. Your job prospects filtered by HR software. How resources are allocated in your healthcare system. All based on data you'll likely never see. What unseen flaw might already be baked into that system, just waiting for the right conditions.